It's your boy DJ Wolf here. I want to talk back about Levar Ball again. I wanted to revisit that because of some recent articles and news about Levar Ball and his son Lonzo. I'll say this. Although I admit Levar Ball is boisterous, he's obnoxious, he's loud, and annoying at times, I like the guy. He's got moxie. He takes pride in his family. He's very proud of his son's accomplishments. You know, he's always been there in their life. You know, something you don't normally see when it comes to black men in the media. And usually when you see guys like that in the media, they got to find something to tear him down with. Now, yeah, I've said that he should let his son shine on their own, but it doesn't mean that he can't be, he can't talk about it. And because there are things about the guy I do like. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. There really is. One of the things I had to admit that I do like about him is the fact that he's actually he started his own brand with his sons. He's branding. And that's, in a way, that's a good thing. But what he was really trying to do, when you started talking about he was asked for $1 billion, which I thought was a little far-fetched, for his sons, who has been improving in the professional field yet, he started trying to shop for shoe endorsements for his oldest son, Lonzo, who is currently playing for UCLA. All right. Fortunately, all the shoe manufacturers, Nikes, Reeboks, Converse, they all turned him down. So he decided to go ahead and they already were selling T-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that already as a brand, with their own brand name, BBB, I think. And now he decided to go ahead and start his own shoe endorsement for his oldest son, Lonzo. They call him the Zo 2s. Now, I'll say this. I saw him. If you haven't seen him, it's online. It's all over. They're a nice pair of shoes. I even went to the website. They're really nice. They look like very high quality pair of shoes. Now, if they actually are, it's another story. But from what I saw, it looked like a very, very nice pair of shoes. Honestly, I wouldn't mind getting them. I'm not gonna lie. I would not mind getting them. Somebody said they were ugly, but you have to see them for yourself. They look really nice. Because I thought they were gonna look like shit. They look pretty good. Now, I will say this, though. Although I wouldn't mind buying a pair of those shoes, I just wouldn't pay $495 for them. $495. Not $4.95. Not $495 pennies. $495. Basically $500 for the shoes. They're talking about $295 for flip-flops. I was like, really? Nah. That's a bit much, dog. Maybe the reason why he did it was to get publicity for the shoes, knowing that he probably is not going to get that much for them anyway. Because I thought about that too. That may have been the other reason why he did that. But nevertheless, I'm not paying no $495 for those shoes. Period. I wouldn't buy that for Jordans. Matter of fact, Jordans and LeBron's combined don't cost that much. On average. And I'm like, I don't think I'd pay that much for it. I'll be honest. I wouldn't pay $200 for the shoes. I would pay. I'd pay at the most. I'd pay $100 for them. I would, because they look like a really nice pair of shoes. Now, how comfortable they are is another story. But that depends on the comfort too. It depends on how good those shoes really are. If they're even worth paying $100 for them. But like somebody said, He'd be lucky if anybody paid $49.95 for those shoes. That's what somebody was saying online. And I tend to agree. But my only problem with Levar Ball is the fact that he needs to, like I said again, if he's behind the scenes and he's like a CEO of the company or whatever, yeah, do that. But let those young men stand out on their own talent. Let them develop their own game. Stop trying to be stop being that much of a noise factor for your kids and say, okay, I'm the CEO of such and such and such, and, I want to, build a brand for my sons and leave it at that, But to sit there and be boisterous about my son's better than Steph Curry and all these other guys that it's been unproven about is bullshit, because you really putting your sons out there, as a target to probably get the egos and spirits deflated by putting them out there talking about they're the greatest things in basketball when they have been very unproven as of yet. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right to do that right now. I don't think that's right to do that considering they're unproven talent. They're great talents, but they're unproven as far as professional level yet. But if you're becoming the CEO and trying to build a brand for your sons and sit back in the back, beyond that, yeah, I could see you doing that. But otherwise, let them develop their own game, let them develop their own skill, let them get coached by the coaches who need to develop them, and then go from there. When they become great, if they become great, then I can see you probably talking a little smack. But right now, let them build. Let them build. Let them be their own self. Let them develop on their own technique, their own skills. And stop trying to pump them up for something they quite haven't gotten achieved yet. That's all I got. This is DJ Wolf. Questions and comments about what I just mentioned, please feel free. Contact me for all the here at Gmail. For all the here on Twitter. For all the here on YouTube. DJ Wolf Online at yahoo.com. DJ Wolf Live on Facebook. And now, for all to hear on vid.me. That's for all to hear on vid.me, which is a VidMe, a new website that I actually going to be posting a lot of my videos on. Probably some of the current videos and probably some you haven't seen yet. All right, that's all I got. This is DJ Wolf. I got more to say about this and other stuff on the back burner. I'll probably be doing the podcast later on. Talk to you guys later.